Hello.
Hello, Facebook Live. I feel like, what's his name? Bernie Mac. America.
He's so crazy. Y'all, I'm tired. Tired.
We're both tired.
It's been a long day.
Long week. Anyway, we decided we're going to pick up on where we last left off. Emotional divorces. So, to be transparent, we had a conversation prior to this video to determine our definitions of emotional divorces. So I told her mine was when I get upset with her and we get into the arguments and the back and forth. So as me, as a man, I would just I put my wall up. I'm here. I'm just existing in this space right now. And that was what I would call an emotional divorce for me.
And he, well, I think it probably would go a little deeper than that because you say in the last video about 10 times you.
Well, we got 17 years of marriage, so I kind of lied. It's a little more.
No.
No, I'm going to stick with 10.
Well, I shared with him that I felt like my definition of emotional divorce was basically when you're just going through the motions, And I heard a message from Bishop Jakes, and he talked about a couple that had been married for over 20 years. And the child left the home, had grown up, was going to college, and the husband presented the wife with paperwork, basically saying that he wanted a divorce. But what had to be understood is that he had divorced her years before. And, we were talking because this upcoming week, our baby girl is going to be 16.
Yeah.
And in a couple of years, she'll be out of the home. And it just basically made us kind of take a look back at different areas and different times in our marriage where, we've had issues, we've had breakdowns, we've had some of those emotional divorces. I don't know about 10, but okay. And how important we thought it was for us to make sure that we had that date night every week. How hard it was for us to be able to include that when my grandmother got sick, his grandmother got sick, my grandfather, his grandfather. We lost 7 family members in 2 years, in a 2-year span. And it's hard caring for a sick family member, children, maintaining a household, maintaining finances, other stuff that we may be involved in, and trying to maintain each other at the same token. And that emotional divorce can take place because the intimacy is lost. So, it's just really important that we carve away time for one another. It's really important that we remember when we're caring for our loved ones that are ill, that this too shall pass. And I can remember when my grandmother was sick, her telling me that she felt like I was spending too much time with her, when she was ill, and that she felt like she was a burden. And I told her, I would look at her, I would smile, and I would hold her hand, and I would tell her I'm cherishing every moment and every day because I know one day she wouldn't be here. And what I would do to get that back. But there's so much that we go through, not just in our marriage itself, but things on the outside that affect the marriage, because that's why we're here. We're here to love one another. We're here to take care of one another. And, every culture is different. And many times I know there are some cultures where when the parents are elderly, they move in with the children, and we have to make sure that we don't lose ourselves in that. When the hurricane happened, we had family members live here with us for almost a year, and we had to continue to remember that date night. in the process of caring for our family and helping them. So it's important to not allow emotional divorces to take you out, to recognize it. And in the process of recognizing it, create a plan or a strategy to get it back. And it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Because it's days I get off of work and all I want to do is go home and just sit on the couch. But that's why they say marriage is work. Mm-hmm. So it's not always about what you want. Now sometimes she'll ask, she can see it on me and it works out. So she'll be like, look, I know you're tired. Mm-hmm. You want to go outside? You want to just watch a movie together? You want to just be in each other's arms or whatever. I'm like, right. Yes, fine, great, wonderful. Woman read me. And the next week it's a different scenario for me. So now what I'll do, I'm thinking throughout the week about what I can do for her, what she may like. Because what I learned about her was she always said it's the little things. Mm-hmm. When we first got married, if you had a ring for everything or something like that, mm-hmm. I go to K Jewelers because that's what the TV commercial said. Go to K's. So I go to K, hey, look, I need this ring. Okay, I got that one already. I need the other ring. And here you go. And she be like, oh, it's pretty, it's cute. And I'm like, that's it? I'm thinking like the TV commercial. She's supposed to, the big smile, the music and the stars and glitter, everything. That didn't happen. So.
I just wanted him to wash the dishes and help with the kids and rub my feet every now and then and go for a walk. And, I love flowers, So, I mean, we learned each other. And things like that help you come out of that emotional divorce. But you definitely also have to pray together and pray for one another. And never forget that, because there are times when you're going to be tired. There's times when you're going to be weary. But when you ask God for that fresh wind, it will come. He will refresh you. He will renew you. I always pray for the little spark or flame or fire that we have to turn into a flame on an inferno, so that we'll always be attracted to one another, love one another, caring for one another, and understanding of one another. Because if you don't understand your partner, your husband, your wife, it can definitely be difficult. It's like he said, there's times he doesn't have to say anything. I see it on his face, so all those things are important. But don't let the emotional divorce take you out, really. Work on it. If both of you love one another and both of you are willing to work on it, work it out, stick it out. It is so worth it in the end.
So she asked me, when we tell you emotional divorce, we go a little deeper with it. Her and I would sometimes argue in the beginning of our marriage because we were young and we didn't know how to talk to each other. So she would say what she say, and I'm like, oh yeah, really? Well, I say what I got to say. And she ain't like what I have to say and all the way I said it. So then it'd be like, you know what? Deuces. But I got paperwork on me now. I mean, a marriage contract, marriage license. So I just can't walk out the door. So, but we divorced in here. I didn't tell her, but we divorced. So we go by what sometimes we wouldn't speak or we get in an argument and like we try to talk it out. And I felt like I was on a jury stand because she would ask me questions. I would answer the question. She didn't particularly like my answer.
That's not it. I was seeking to understand. I needed to understand.
Okay, here's the example. Prime example. This how it go, fellas. Support me on this. This is what she was. Okay, fans. Now this is just hypothetical. Okay. So, I noticed your jacket is wet, and you just came in. Well, baby, it's raining outside. It just so happened she looks out the blinds, but it's a mist. It's not a rain. You said it was raining. Yeah, it was. But I looked out the window. It's not raining right now. Okay, well, what you want me to do about? I'm telling you, when I drove up, I went and checked the mail. It was raining. You know, scatter storm, a storm scattered. And it would just go question, another question. And the way she would question me, that's the thing that upset. It wasn't the fact that she was questioning, it's how she questioned me. Like, really? The rain. Okay, right. I'm like, well, then I get, defensive, and I'm like, you know what? No, whatever. So, what we learned was, she would say stuff to me, I say stuff to her. And then finally one day I told her, I don't like how you say that. Well, what do you mean? I said, if you had a camera to see yourself or a mirror, you would understand. You would see yourself the way I see you. And lo and behold, she threw it right back at me. She threw the boomerang. Well, the way you say stuff to me, you should see yourself. So I was like, well, okay, then fine. In the middle of a conversation one day, she said, look in the mirror. So we driving. She's driving. I pull her the sun visor down, open the mirror, see your face. Don't change your face. Look. Don't change your face. Look. And I'm like, I'm standing there myself. I look like me. I don't see it. But the way it look, it's like you upset, like you mad. I'm like, I'm not mad. Well, why your brow look like this? And why is that? What's this? I'm expressing myself. So
I think a lot of it too had to do with the fact that we really didn't trust each other. You know, there was a lot of, and then too, you know, you have to remember how our relationship began. We didn't know each other very long at all.
No, we actually learned each other through our marriage.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't advise it, but at the same time, 17 years, hey, we're here. And I mean, it got to the point where it's like, you know what? When she realized I'm not leaving, I'm not going nowhere. And I was just like, we can't keep, arguing. This ain't what it's supposed to be. I understand it's not going to be the Huxtables every day.
Right.
But it ain't got to be days of our lives either. So we had to find a middle ground and just really talk to each other. And whatever I would be feeling, I would verbalize that when I approached her, which it's not always an easy thing to do. But I did that because I knew she's going to question me. She's going to try to read me. She's trying to read my body language. She's trying to understand, because at the end of the day, she loves me and she wants to comfort me. She wants to meet my every need, whichever way she can. So I need to help her, because guess what? She is as smart and beautiful and talented as she is.
No.
She can't read my mind. She
And
tried.
he can't read mine.
She can't read my mind. I can't read her mind. So she used to always say, how was your day? The last thing I want to talk about is my job when I get home. Because at the time, my job was a mentally stressed job. I was a truck driver. I drove up and down the interstate. And I got people cutting me off, people telling me I'm number one. And I'm like, thank you. Y'all get the joke. But anyway, I got to get certain places at a certain time because I have a e-log in my truck, which the minute you start the truck, it logs you. So you literally have so much time to drive to get to where you have to go. And then sometimes you get to the destination and they don't want to unload you. So now you have to go back with that same load and then do it again. And I hate doing the same thing for the front one job, doing the same thing backwards. So now it's like, okay, cool, whatever. I come in and she's, hey baby, how you doing? Hey babe, it's good to see you. And it's a very, very encouraging welcome to come home or something like that. Don't get me wrong. But my mind, I'm like, I just want to sit down. I want to de-stress. I don't want to deal with nothing serious.
Hey, Terrence.
I want to watch a comedy show. I just want to be entertained. And her thing is, well, the kids at the daycare, this happened at the daycare, this bill such and such and such. And I think I got to go here next weekend with my mama, and my grandma got this going on, and it's just like brick. And I'm leaning up because these bricks are getting heavy. And it's like, okay. And whatever. And all of a sudden, so I'm listening, but I'm zoned out because I'm not really paying attention to what she's telling me. I just hear her voice. I hear a few words, a few names that recall a memory. But I'm not paying attention to everything she said. And then when weekend shows up, hey, babe, where you going? Well, I told you I was going. I don't remember that. Yes, I did. I told you. You wasn't listening. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, now me and her back and forth, back and forth. She leaves the driveway, burns rubber 2 wheels.
Is that true?
Yes, you do. And I'm like, man, I got to buy some doggone tire for this car. Now, this girl don't know how to drive. But she would she leave and go do her business, and I'll be in the house would be quiet. And I'll be like, okay, cool. But sure enough, 30 minutes or so after me calming down, adrenaline going down, whatever, I'm like, man, where my family at? And then she comes back and there's all these pictures she wants to show me. And I'm looking at all these pictures with her and the kids doing this, they're doing that. I'm nowhere in the picture. Whose fault is that? So I got to man up. It can't always, this marriage and this relationship is a two-way street. And we can get on the street together. But if I don't tell you there's a stop sign, a yield sign, or even just a red light, the road just don't continue. This ain't Route 66, as much as we would like it to be. So what I learned how to do, come in and express myself. I tell her what's going on, man. I had a long day. This such happened. Give me a minute, if you don't mind. And that's what she would do.
Yeah.
And, 10, 20 minutes or so.
Yep.
Now she comes, sits down. Baby, this is what I got. I got to tell you about this and this and this and this. Yeah. Okay, or she'll get the calendar out for me. Hey, look, on this date, such and such and such, such and such. Okay, gotcha. Good, cool, with you. So that's how we got through a lot of the emotional device, just like I said, communication. And everybody said, oh, you got to communicate. Communicate how?
Right. And everybody's different. And I think one of the things that really helped us, because we owned the trucking company for almost 13 years. And there were many times where he was gone for weeks at a time. So when he would come home, Lil Gil heard his engine down the road before he even turned on our street. He knew when Daddy was coming home, and they would be outside waiting for him and would run up to him. He had to carry them both into the house, and then I'd be there at the door waiting. But I learned through communicating with him that once he put them down, let him go and just kind of gather himself for a while, because he had just gotten home, need to be able to rest. So he would go in the room for 20, 30 minutes. And when I knew he was coming out, I would fix his plate and serve him his meal, whatever it was that he wanted to eat. A lot of times it was smothered pork chops or whatever else it may be. And, and then give him that time to be able to get that meal in. We would sit down together as a family and eat. And, it was great. Once we actually learned one another, and we learned that by communicating, even though he didn't care for all the questions that I asked through that questioning, I learned him and he learned me. And it took several years. It took many years. And I'm glad. I tell him all the time that I'm so glad that I did not pull off the road and detour. I'm so glad that I stayed on the road. I might have pulled off and parked for a little bit. But I got right back on the road. And because it has truly been a blessing being married to him. And I pray that all of you out there are able to truly take a step back, take a deep breath, and really evaluate what it is that you're doing in your marriage. How are you communicating? How strong is your marriage? Be honest about that. What do you need to do to strengthen it? What do you need to do to make sure that you can spend the rest of that time with one another? Because when we actually did contemplate divorce, it was interesting because we thought about all the years we had been together. And at that time, I think it was 12, maybe 13 years. And it was like, we have all this time together. How could you just throw away all those years? And he knows me. This man really knows me, so it's like, is it so bad that I can't work it out? Is it so bad that I have to walk away? So I'm grateful for that, so I encourage you out there, if you have a sick loved one that you're caring for, if your spouse is that sick loved one. I know we had several times, our wedding night, he was sick. I had to take care of him that whole first week of our marriage. I had to take care of him, and he returned the favor to me. When I became very ill and was hospitalized many years ago, he told me he wasn't leaving until I did, and it's not easy, especially if that husband or wife has a long-term illness that then affects their ability to be the person that they were before. You have to, it's almost like you have to be okay with reinventing your marriage.
You have to.
As you age. Because as we age, things are different. Our hormones change. We begin to lose our hair. But I like him bald. He got to shave it. I like that. We gain a little weight. And I was very self-conscious about that. And he helped me through that. And, things just change for us, but we have to continue to love one another through each phase of our marriage, throughout the entire journey, through the storms, the sunshine, the strong wind, but hanging in there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I ain't finished. I got some other stuff to say.
Excuse me.
Woman. Okay, people. So, I wanted to share with you all about the date night. So, what I do, and I kind of been slacking to be honest with you all.
That's okay.
I woke up one morning, and I leave before she does. So, I was like, you know what? I got my truck, and I always keep a notepad because I have to take notes and different things on my job. So what I did, I took out the little note, and I wrote a little silly, romantic note, if you want to call it that, and I left it on her steering wheel in her car. So when she got in her car, there's this little note I left on her steering wheel. Man, brownie points, icing, chocolate chips, the whole 9, pecans. I mean, this thing went. She was on a high for about, it looked like a week, and I'm like, man.
I still have that note. It's in my visor.
So I'm like, I gotta do another note. Because the brownie points was cool, fellas. So, and it didn't take a lot of effort. And that's the thing with I go back to me, Christmas time, Valentine's, and all that kind of stuff, I'm not saying don't spend money on your wife, but it don't take the big stuff. Because at first, like she said, we had to reinvent ourselves. Right. 17 years into our marriage. She's, at first it was, I like the jewelry. Okay, it says jewelry. Everything's jewelry. Jewelry, I'm buying jewelry. Well, you can't just buy jewelry. It gets old. She only got so many fingers. So then, I noticed it's like as our marriage grew and the kids come into play, life situations, and we lose loved ones, you kind of sit back and refocus and ask yourself, what is important to me?
Yes.
What really matters to me? What is value to me?
Yes.
So now we transition and we go from the jewelry and the material things to the simple things. And the simple things mean so much more and carry so much more weight. Because, like for instance, we talk about our grandparents. I drive by, which you don't see them at all anymore, the little newspaper stands. There's a few of them at a few gas stations. And when I pull up and see those, it touches my heart because my grandmother used to have a paper route. So when I was a child, I would go with her on the paper routes. She's no longer here now, but every time I see that American Press news box out there, I smile and I think about her. So I don't own the box. I don't buy a newspaper. But that memory is in me. And it stays with me. And I mean, I can sit back and I can smell her. I can hear her voice in my ear as if she's sitting right next to me. So take that same thing and that goes to my wife. What can I do for her that's going to make a lasting impact? Like she said, she still has that note. When I wrote that?
It's been a while.
How many months?
It's been several months. So what spurred that, our church did a marriage class. And several of the married couples attended, and that was one of the tasks. And he kept it going,
Yep.
So Yeah, but yeah,
So,
it's been several months.
like, we don't have all the answers, but we have some. So,
Yeah.
and we still, whenever we get a chance to go to a retreat or some type of seminar
Yes, we take
concerning
advantage
covers,
of
whatever, or we take advantage of, it, if we catch YouTube, whatever. So I would tell you all, it's thank you for paying attention and listening to us, but don't let us be your only source. You know, you have to put in the work and do your due diligence like everybody else. I mean, we can help you along the way. And all we can do is tell you about what we done.
This is the most important source right here.
They can't. That's backwards. I don't know if they can
They
read
can
that.
see that.
Can they?
Yes.
It looks backwards
Yes.
when I look at it.
Hey, Rosalind, Missy, Pastor Gallion, Christy. Hey, Julia, Devin. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. You had anything else, Daddy?
Yes. So, fellas,
Oh my.
work on the simple things. The date night. You know you got a date night? Okay. And be careful with this, man, because this can catch you up, and if anything ain't like it's supposed to be. I'll send her a text message. Now, she knows my number, obviously. But I'll send her a text message. Hey, girl, I saw you over at the gas station. You sure look good. I hope it's possible to get your phone up. Now, it's stupid. I know I'm texting her number, but can I get your number? And she going to send me some stupid emoji thing, whatever. And that's the flirtation we do. Because she still want to know, I mean, hey, just because we're married don't mean I got to stop chasing her. She still want to be chased. She still want to be pursued. She want to be desired as I. So we got to do that. So, fella, you start off the date. Hey, look, send a little flirtatious text message. Please don't do the pictures because, man, look. These pictures things got out of hand. and people hacking phones, all I'm saying. So, you don't want your business out. Don't just text her. Send her a little text. Write her a little note. It's a build up, step by step. So now she's anticipating.
Yeah.
Because men, we visual.
Yeah.
She got the Coke bottle shape. She's bad. She good to go. But these women is here. And we can get by with the muscles, with the voice, with the dance moves. That goes so far. What else? It's the Janet Jackson syndrome. What have you done for me lately? 24 hours. Once that clock hit 12:01 a.m., it's a whole new ball game. What you gonna do today? What you gonna do today? And what that does, men, when you thinking about your wife or what you gonna do for your wife, you have time to think about nothing else.
Yes. And it keeps you emotionally
engaged. And that's
engaged.
what keeps you emotionally engaged. It keeps you in your home where you're supposed to be. And that helps out. It focus on, and the same thing go for your kids. Okay, my son, I know he likes to play video games. I play video games. I went through that phase. I'm not going to come down on him because of that. Because I've been through that stage. He's 13. So, okay, son, show me some of the games. I can watch them just for a little while because it's so much on the screen. It confuses me and hurts my eyes trying to watch everything. But I go in there. And the fact that he knows I'm paying attention to something he likes, that helps our relationship. Because right now, he's 13. I got to deal with him on a daily basis to keep him intact. Because he's starting to come into his young man. Our daughter, we want to divorce that about our daughter today. Well, we're not divorcing. We're not telling you all our business. But our daughter is becoming a young woman.
Well, I told him she's going to turn 16 next week.
Okay, well, now y'all know her business. So, she's becoming a young woman, and I mean, that's a whole nother set of emotions I'm not really prepared to deal with, but it's here, so I got to deal with it. And guess what, fellas? We always say it. We do all our stuff, and God pays us back with giving us a daughter. So, and then the thing about it, he got nerve. She got a beautiful, attractive, the whole nine. I'm like, really? Okay. So
Of course, I'm her mother.
I've been giving daddy speeches, man, for about a month now.
Yes.
Poor fella, I don't give him no slack. Hey, look, whatever you do to her, I'm gonna do to you. Think about it. So
You like your pastor. You long-winded.
whatever. Hey, that's my first point. Okay, but anyway.
Y'all, we wrapping up. We're going to be in prayer for you all. And we're sorry that we missed that week. We had a lot going on, but we're going to do our due diligence to definitely make sure that we come on weekly. And we pray that all will continue to be well with you and yours, and that God has used us today to say something to you to help inspire you or lift you up and keep you strong. Because remember, marriage was the first institution. If we can hold our marriages together, strong, not just keeping them together, but being strong, truly, truly loving one another, as the word says we are to love one another through it all. Man, the mountains that we could climb and the places we could go. Where there's unity, there is strength.
Always.
So, blessings and love to you all, and we look forward to seeing you next week, God spare.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.